Hello Mouses! Today I want to talk about this very strange idea that Starbucks can somehow tell its investors that it's profitable, but tell a taxman that it's not. Now, Starbucks, as you might know, is quite a large company. It's around the world, it turns up all over the place, and has a tendency to market saturate by opening lots and lots of stores to get rid of the competition and closing the less profitable ones and focusing in. And it can do this because it has a lot of money. But not according to the taxman. When the taxman comes knocking, apparently Starbucks UK has not made any money for quite some time. It's only paid about £8.6 million to the taxman since it opened its first store in the UK 14 years ago. £8.6 million is just slightly more than what Google paid the taxman last year. Although Google itself is not exactly above tax avoidance schemes of its own. But Starbucks really takes the biscuit because it tells all of its investors that it's profitable. But it tells the taxman that it hasn't made a profit for the last 3 years. It hasn't paid any corporate tax to the UK for the last 3 years. And it does this by a variety of schemes. The first of these schemes is that the UK version of Starbucks pays royalties to its parent company for use of its own logo. Basically, Starbucks rents its own logo from itself. Of course, Starbucks being the group, and then smaller areas. So Starbucks UK is part of Starbucks, but it's not actually Starbucks, it's Starbucks UK. And therefore has to rent the logo and name of Starbucks and its business processes. So it ends up with effectively a 6% royalty fee on every product sold. And this siphons off a lot of money. Straight off, it just goes. Then it buys all of its beans from its Starbucks Switzerland trading company, but it also pays Starbucks Amsterdam to roast those beans. So the Dutch version roasts the beans, the Swiss version buys the beans, the UK version hands the coffee over at the end. That seems a bit odd, doesn't it? Can't each company in each country buy its own beans and roast its own beans? Well, no, because that would mean that the UK version couldn't siphon off huge amounts of money to the Netherlands in order to use the current popular tax avoidance scheme of siphoning to the Netherlands in order to hide the fact that they're then routing all of the money offshore. It's a current thing. You tunnel the money to the Netherlands, then the UK's tax people can't see what happens to it. And then the different laws of Holland allow movement of the money in different ways. So you tunnel it all out to Holland, and then it goes offshore, and then no one pays tax on it. Oh my goodness. Because this money that's going out doesn't make its way back to the United States, to its parent company, and therefore no tax is paid on it there either. So this money just disappears from the tax books. And no one really knows where it's going apart from Starbucks. It's going somewhere. They're making a lot of money for effectively just moving money around, but no one's paying tax on it. So that's the main avoidance schemes. So how are they managing to make no money? Well, it's a combination of renting the logo, paying for processes offshore, and paying for product offshore in order to move as much money offshore and out of the way of the taxman as possible. And they're all doing this. Facebook, for example, only paid less than £300,000 of tax on over £17 million of profit. For those of you who don't know, the current corporate tax rate is 20% of all profit. Less than 300,000 isn't 20% of 17 million. So they're doing a lot of tax avoidance schemes too. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a small business owner. I own a small publishing company, and I can't possibly compete with other companies that are doing this kind of tax avoidance scheme. Because if I pay my fair share, I've got less money to plough into my business next year than they have when they're cheating. That's what it comes down to. They're cheating. They're stealing money from the UK in order to make themselves more likely to succeed in the coming year against their competitors who are all, well, not all of them, of course, but most of them are playing fair. And that's not really nice, is it? That's what it comes down to. It may not be against the law at the moment, although there are now plans afoot to make damn sure that it is, but at the moment they're not breaking the law. So people at Starbucks are now coming on the television and smiling and nodding and going, yes, we've done nothing wrong. Everything we've done is totally above board. See? Nice smile. Screw these guys. The loopholes that they're using need to be closed. The taxman is now going to be having a very thorough look at them. And let's face it, when the Inland Revenue comes knocking on your door demanding all of your documentation so it can do a thorough audit, it's basically, we're going to find something to pin on you because we think you're dodgy. You don't want the Inland Revenue coming round. It's just like that. But anyway, that's pretty much how it works. So, if you want to avoid as much tax as possible, use the Starbucks route. Rent your own logo to yourself and funnel as much as you can offshore. Do it through the Netherlands so that the UK can't see that you're funneling offshore, because trying to put as much money as possible offshore is generally a good way of getting yourself audited, and in many circumstances is actually illegal. But if you funnel it through another place and then tunnel it out, then you seem to be alright. So do the Starbucks route. Cheat your way to success. That seems to be the key. So, there you go. In the modern world, 21st century business management is cheat your way to success. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye for today. So, I hope you liked this video. If you did, remember to click the like button. Share it with your friends so that they know how to keep as much money as possible out of the British economy. And subscribe for future videos. Until next time, I've been Kirk-Robinson. You've been watching the Odd Mouse channel. And I'll see you tomorrow.